Alright, working on riding lawnmowers today. So this is a 2006 Craftsman YS 4500. This particular mower is manufactured by Husqvarna. And many mowers use this kind of deck engagement lever. You just rotate it forward to engage the blades, and then this is the disengaged position. It's a pretty foolproof system. It's connected to the deck with a cable, but eventually with enough hours these all start to have problems. Now, there's two issues you can run into with these. Either they become very loose and sloppy like this, or they become very stiff, which makes it really hard to engage the deck. And it just so happens that my lawnmower has both issues. The deck engagement lever is very loose and sloppy, and it's also very stiff and hard to engage. So I'm going to take care of that. We have to get under there, so I'm going to have to pull the fuel tank out first. So fuel tank removed now, and you can see the deck engagement lever assembly. This is the whole mechanism that the lever is connected to. And there is the cable right here. Runs down to the bottom of the lawnmower over here. So this is just held in with 3 bolts, one here, one there, and then there's one in the back there. And I will have to pull this little plastic piece off the end here. Hopefully that won't be too bad. And I can pull this whole mechanism apart, and you can see the bottom here, this bushing is damaged, but I'm going to look at that closer once I get the whole assembly out. So I cleared off some space on the workbench just so you can get a better view of this. Put the spring back on. This spring usually holds the end of the cable on as well, and then the cable snaps into here. And that's the operation. So normally, if you're looking at it from the front, this is how it would be sitting. That would be disengaged and then engaged, like so. Now this is that damaged bushing that you could see earlier. See, it's all worn away, and that is causing the play in the mechanism. And if you look closely at it, right here, you notice there's a bunch of wear on the paint. This lever right here, because the bushing is worn out, the spring is pulling this lever downward, and it's actually rubbing against the frame, and that along with the metal on metal contact at this worn bushing is what's causing it to be stiff. And then of course the bushing being worn is what causes all the slop. So we'll take this apart here. It's stuck to my glove. just slides right out. So there's two bushings in here, one on the bottom, one on the top. This top bushing is actually in really good shape. It's a split bushing, and then it's got just a little ridge to hold it in, and the flange on there. See, that one is actually nearly perfect. We are not going to worry about that top bushing. This bottom bushing, however, see, that is just completely worn out. This is the bushing that takes all of the force of the spring, and then this hole is slightly worn because it's been rubbing this shaft right there, has just been rubbing on that metal piece, which is causing that wear because it wore through the bushing. So this bushing is the only thing wrong with this assembly. Unfortunately, Sears does not sell this thing, or they don't sell the parts to fix this. They don't sell this bushing by itself. They want you to go out and buy the entire engagement assembly for 70 bucks. I'm not spending 70 bucks just because this bushing wore out. I got a better plan. So earlier I had taken this apart and measured the shaft and the hole in this bracket, and I did some searching, and I managed to find this bushing. It's a split plastic bushing. I believe it's nylon. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. I will post the technical specifications for this, as well as a link in the description in case you want to buy one of these yourselves. But it's a split plastic bushing. It is sized appropriately to fit the shaft and the hole, and it has a flange on it just like the original one. I could not find an exact copy of this bushing. It's probably a custom piece. So this new one, you see it's a bit too tall. I will have to cut it down. It also does not have this ridge, but because of the design and assembly of this mechanism, I don't believe that will be necessary. If I just trim this down, this should work just fine. Okay, so I trimmed the bushing down. I'm going to go ahead and put it back together now. I'm going to actually use the new bushing in the top because there's less stress on it, and the original bushing is a little bit thicker. So we'll just use the smaller one in the top where it will receive less stress. I'm also going to use this washer on the top here so that it spreads the force out evenly across the bushing flange instead of just rubbing on it in one spot like it was before. And then that goes like that. And the spring goes there, but you need to put the cable on first. So we'll go put this back in the lawnmower now. So this cast metal piece is still going to rub on that bracket just slightly, and this cable end, that of course pivots on there. So I'm just going to give it, spray a little bit of lubricant on there, just so that moves more smoothly. So the gas tank's back in. I also lubricated the actual engagement cable itself. It's got a little bit of play in it, but not nearly as much as it had before. And it is significantly easier to engage. It's a night and day difference. And I did it for a few bucks instead of $70 by just replacing that little bushing and lubricating a few things.